All the hits, Q97.1, Danny Salas. I'm still live at WWE Access, the site of WrestleMania 2015, live up in the Bay all afternoon today, doing live interviews with your favorite WWE superstars, divas, and I am looking face-to-face at a bona fide legend. We have Jimmy Hart in the building. How you feeling?
Man, it's just unbelievable. Don't jinx me. I'm feeling great now.
All right,
Come on.
all right. Well, you're looking good, too.
Well, thank you so much now. Hey, but you know what? Isn't this unbelievable? Here we are at Fan Access, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thousands
Yes,
of people
sir.
that come through these doors tonight and tomorrow and Sunday. Then we've got the Hall of Fame tomorrow night. Hope you guys are going to it.
Yes, man, I can't miss it.
And then
Cannot miss it.
WrestleMania 31. So it's just, what a dream come true. I'm still doing this after all these years.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? You must be good at what you do.
I don't know about that. Maybe I'm lucky, better being lucky than be good, right?
Either or, it works. I'll take it either way. But you just mentioned it. This whole weekend there's something going on. I mean, back in the days, I mean, you were there from the first WrestleMania. It was a standalone event and it was huge. But now it's a spectacle. It's a whole weekend. It's not just one day for a 3 or 4 hour show. It's a whole weekend. They have activities. Really, any kind of wrestling fan, you're not gonna have any downtime.
Well, you know, people always ask me, Jimmy, what's the greatest moment in WWE for you? And it was at WrestleMania 3, 93,000 people in Detroit. That was great. Was it the Hall of Fame ring in 2005 when you went in with Hulk Hogan and Piper and all the rest of the cast? That was good, too. But still, WrestleMania 1 is still the most important because if it had not been successful, we would have been sitting here today.
Yep, exactly, man. And you had a lot to do with that. I mean, a lot of people talk about Jimmy Hart as far as one of the best managers, but you're one of the most versatile managers. Man, you had so many people in your stable, so many people under your belt. You took so many people under your wing. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I was kind of like the blue light Kmart special manager. You know what I mean? Had different jackets for everybody, and we'd hit and run. But
right.
You know what? I think that Vince McMahon had a saying, two sticks are harder to break than one. And I believe that because he always put me with different. I had Dino Bravo, Adrian Adonis, Greg Valentine, Honky Tonk Man, Terry Funk, Dory Funk, Earthquake, Typhoon. We had Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You know, the Nasty Boys, the Rougeau Brothers, just to mention a few. So it's been a great run. It really has.
So let me tell you this: when you obviously a lot of people know about your background and where you've been and what you've done. When you first decided, man, this is the business for me, was it because you knew you kind of had the gift to gab on the mic because you had those kind of skills?
No, I didn't realize that. I went to school with Jerry the King Lawler in Memphis, Tennessee, of course. He went into wrestling, and I went into music.
Yeah.
One day when I was in town, he called me and said, look, I want to cut a wrestling album. Will you help me? And I said, I would love to because I was such a big fan of his. And that led to me leaving the group eventually. And all of a sudden, I'm in the ring in Memphis, Tennessee. I was there for 5 years. All of a sudden, I had a phone call from Howard Finkel, and he said, Vince McMahon and these guys are looking at your tapes and stuff. And Vince McMahon called me an hour later, and all of a sudden, I was in New York City. So it's been a great run.
Man, so from a whirlwind romance way back then to 30 years later, here standing in front of me.
31 years later. I mean, here we are,
Unbelievable.
WrestleMania 31 coming up, and it's so great too. And like, you know, Hulk and I was telling somebody the other day, I said, isn't it amazing? I said, last Monday night was Raw with Snoop Dogg and Hulk. I get on the plane the next morning and I fly to Washington, D.C. for the USO. WWE's a big sponsor of that. And all of a sudden, to my left, I'm over there talking with Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac.
Wow.
Over on my right, there's Peyton Manning. And then I get on a plane and come back out of here. So it's been great.
Man, that's unbelievable. Yeah, and you rubbing shoulders, you kind of just touched on it a couple minutes ago. You rubbing shoulders with some musical greats. Hey, man, that was you. That's when you first started. And are you still making money from what you put out those many, many years ago?
Well, you know what? A little money comes rolling in from the Keep on Dancing from many
Dancing.
years ago. We used to tour with Dick Clark, with the Beach Boys, Sonny and Cher, and did American Bandstand and Hullabaloo and all those shows.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff happened too after I got up to WWE WWF back then.
Yeah.
We wrote Michael's song "Sexy Boy," the Road Warriors. Even when I went to WCW, the Wolfpack by Nash and Hall. So we've been lucky.
That's unbelievable. So if we download Keep on Dancing on iTunes, you're still going to get a percentage of that, right?
I think we might get a little bit of seven
All right,
of us,
hope
so it ain't
All
much, but it's a little. We might can buy a pack of chewing gum. But,
That's all good. Split 7 ways, and it's all
Here
right.
you go,
better than
baby.
nothing, right? It's better than nothing. So let's talk about the activities going down this weekend. So we're here in the Bay. We're actually at Access right now. Kicked off yesterday. Crazy, ridiculous crowds around here, right?
The crowds, the WWE Universe is so unbelievable. I mean, I was here last night with Hulkster. I do mine tomorrow and Sunday. But
Cool.
the fans have just been so loyal and so great. And this is our chance to kind of pay them back because I don't like to rush anybody through the line. I like to stand up and do pictures and autographs with them and everything and talk stories. But like I said, you go to the Hall of Fame booth over there, and when you're in the Hall of Fame booth, you see a lot of great memorabilia. Have you been to our Superstore over here?
Man, that Superstore is amazing.
Unbelievable. I can't believe all the stuff in the Superstore. It's crazy.
It is amazing. I'm skipping lunches for the next 8 months so I can afford to buy everything I want, but it's going to be totally worth it.
It's a chance of a lifetime. It's because it's hard to kill a memory.
That's exactly right. And you know what's cool about this is that, I mean, if you're a hardcore baseball fan or football fan, you go to the games, you root on your team, and then you go home and you have a good long-lasting memory. But here, man, you get to get up close and personal with the people that you're seeing on TV. You're getting up close and personal, talking to them, getting autographs and photos. This is that one-on-one interaction that really no other, I want to say, sport, entertainment, no one really offers anything like this.
And and our camera crews are running around filming everybody, so you'll probably wind up being on the network before it's over.
That's real, and not being compensated for it, which is okay. I see the signs.
But it's a good memory.
It's a great memory. So for the Hall of Fame this year, I mean, you said you had a great class going into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, unbelievable.
Tell me what that experience was like, or what that phone call was like. That initial phone call, and they said, you know what, Jimmy, everything you've done for this company, everything you've done for this business, we want to honor you in front of the world and induct you into our Hall of Fame.
Well, Jim Ross called me originally, and when he was talking to me, I'm thinking, I think he's probably trying to reach Bret Hart and not me. And the whole time he's talking to me,
got the wrong Hart.
What good? You've done so many great things, and Vince wanted me to go. I'm listening to this and going, I bet he thinks he's talking to Bret. Oh my God. And I said, Mr. Ross, can I interrupt you? I said, this is Jimmy Hart, not Bret Hart. He goes, I know who it is, and I like to fall off my chair. But it's been great. It really has.
And now fast forward to 2015, this Hall of Fame class. I mean, it just seems that every year there's a couple inductees in the Hall of Fame that people have just been clamoring for years to get in. This year, Macho Man Randy Savage, you got to say, is one of those ones that's kind of overdue, right?
Absolutely. And I'm looking for Lanny, his brother, doing a great poem, because I'm probably one of the best poems he's ever done. But I'm looking forward to the Bushwhackers going in, because sometimes those groups get the unsung heroes.
Yep.
They didn't have the exposure sometimes that the Road Warriors had or the Hart Foundation had. Right. And I think for them going in, that is so great, because a lot of kids love them. And now those kids are grown-up kids. And so they'll have a lot of good memories of their heads being licked and everything else, too.
Right. And you know what's great, too, about the WWE Network is that fans like me, the superstars I grew up with, now my children can grow up watching them on the network because they have access to all the old pay-per-views and all the events. And they can be familiar with the people that I grew up with, which is amazing.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail right on the head.
Right. And I think just personally, from a personal standpoint, not only if you remember this, but last time you were in the Q97.1 studio in Fresno, I had a 6-year-old boy with me, my 6-year-old son, and he recognized Jimmy Hart, and he took a picture with him from the Scooby-Doo mystery movie.
You know what? I do remember that now, because I went, how the heck that kid know us? And I knew the network, but then I remembered the Scooby-Doo thing that we did.
Yep.
And, you know, I've been so blessed. I'm telling you, I say that all the time. You know, my oldest son, Jimmy Hart Jr., was in Iraq. He did 2 tours over there with the 101st Airborne out of Fort Campbell, the Screaming Eagles. And just to get him back safe and sound. And the other night when I was at the USO and they were telling some stories and stuff, and I just realized how blessed and lucky we all are, especially if you have any family members that have been overseas and come back. You know, it's just unbelievable.
Which I know for you, from a personal standpoint, doing those USO tours just means a whole lot more, right?
Woo! I went to Afghanistan 1 year, Kuwait 1 year, Kosovo 1 year, and Iraq 1 year. We did those Black Hawk helicopters and out on some of those small fobs way back up out of nowhere, you know, and the troops are just so grateful to see you. They really are.
Man, that's amazing. Well, like Johnny Cash said, you've been everywhere, man. You've been everywhere. Last words for Fresno. I got the Hall of Famer Jimmy Hart live. Last words for Fresno from Access right now.
Don't send me no flowers, baby, because I ain't dead yet. I'll see y'all next year, Dallas, Texas.
There it is, WrestleMania this Sunday live on the WWE Network. Jimmy Hart, I appreciate the time. As always, it's Q97.1.